Alright, so we're going to start drawing. I've drawn 3 circles here, and I traced my cup. I'm doing this with pen so that you can see it better. You're obviously going to do this with pencil. So here I have 3 circles. I've indicated my light source, which I have coming from the top left, and then I've drawn in my highlights, midtones, and my shadows. Notice that they are perfectly round because they're on a round object. We do not ever want this. This is wrong. That's for like an egg shape, but this is a sphere, so they have perfectly round highlights, midtones, and shadows. Our end goal is to make it look like this. We're going to be working with different colors, but right now we're working just with this one. We're doing this with oil pastel, and I'm going to start with my white. With oil pastel, I'm always working with the side because I like to keep that nice point, and I'm going to rotate it to keep my point. I'm going to start with my highlight, and I'm pressing pretty hard here because it's going to stay white. Okay? So now that I've done that, I'm going to work into this section, and I'm going to go lighter. I'm going to slightly go lighter. I'm probably going to go into this section too. This section, it's going to be real light. I'm barely pressing. I'm kind of using a scumbling method, where I'm going in those round circles like we did with colored pencil. Okay, so notice it's really, really hot white right here. I've pressed really hard. It's getting lighter and lighter as it goes out. Maybe it'll barely be in here. So light. I'm like barely pressing down using that scumbling method. I mean, barely pressing. Okay, so now I have the beginnings of my highlights, and I can go in with that second color. This is an analogous color scheme, which means they're colors that are next to each other in the color wheel. So violet is next to blue, and blue is next to green in the color wheel, so that's how we're working. So I'm going to get my yellow-green, and I'm going to kind of very lightly start blending it in to this second ring of color. Not the very first one, because that's my highlight. It's going to stay white. I'm going to press down a little harder in this one, using that scumbling method, pressing down, but turning my material, my medium, so that it stays pointed. I want my oil pastel to stay pointed. And then I'm going to go in to this one and color it as well. Notice it's already getting darker because we barely had any white here, and then we built up our white as it got closer to that highlight. Okay, so now you're going to work on this, but I can see that I have kind of these lines in between my highlight, or in between my colors. So I don't want that. I'm going to go back with my white, and I'm going to blend. Again, using that scumbling method. Going really lightly, just blending. Okay. So now I'm going to start adding in my blue. I'm going to take my oil pastel again, and now it's going to become the base. So I'm going to very, very lightly take my yellow green. It's now the base instead of the white, because now we're working into those shadows. And I'm going to take my blue. Well, I can take my green, I think. And I'm going to start going back into this ring right here. Scumbling. You can see my lines because I added pen so that you can see them. But at this point you shouldn't be able to see your lines because you did it in pencil, which is better. That's what we want. We don't want to be able to see those lines after we've gone over them. If you get these little kind of like pieces, you can just take them off. No worries. I'm going to go back with my blue because I'm going to start making that shadow. I'm going to come in with some black to make the shade. Going really lightly. I don't want to press hard because if I do, then I won't be able to blend it. It will be too waxy and too thick, and I won't be able to blend it anymore. Notice it's barely touching near that highlight, but it's staying perfectly round. This is my black. And then I'm going back over with my blue. Scumbling, little circles, blending into that other. That other layer. Getting rid of all the little spots where I can see the paper with my scumbling technique. I'm getting rid of all the little lines that tell me where the divisions are. So now I want to go back and just blend, do a final blend. I'm going to take my white and I'm going to blend some more with that highlight into that highlighted area. I'm getting lighter on my pressure as I get farther away from that highlight because I don't want to get rid of all these nice colors that I have. I can take my green, blend some more where it starts getting a little darker. Staying round, never letting it get egg-shaped. And then taking my blue finally and going back. Okay, so there you have, I can even take a touch of yellow since and put it in my highlight just a hair. Make it really, really bright. And go back over with my yellow or with my white. And there you have a really nice sphere that's analogous colors, meaning colors that are next to each other in the color wheel.